Hello everyone, and welcome back to Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back on the Sony PlayStation 1. I am One Wild Sheepyhead again, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be finishing off the rest of this warp room and getting prepared in order to tackle the final warp room of the game. That's right folks, we are close to the end. The final part is actually 2 parts away. I bet you are all excited, because I know I am. Oh. But anyway, to start things off, I figured we kick things off with a sewer level, because why not? This is a fun little level, and honestly, we're going to actually have to go through this level twice in order to actually collect everything that we can. Now, for the first part, I'm going to go through the main normal route of the stage, but as we go on a bit later on, I will then take on the second route we can take, which will give Nabus a lovely gem, which... you know, I love my little gems. They're so delicious and beautiful. But one thing you need to be very careful of when going through this level, especially these hallways, are the scrubbing bubble enemy types that will come flying down the corridors. Now, we've seen them beforehand, but they can be quite treacherous in this one in particular, because they can catch you off guard thanks to the barrels blocking your vision, and you can easily get nicked by them. So just pay a bit of attention to them, and hopefully you won't get... you won't get nicked. Hopefully you will do good. But the major MacGuffin, major gimmick of this particular sewer level will be these hang-climbing, clawing thingy sections where we need to hang on to something and move from point A to point B while timing our movement so we don't get nicked by one of the spiky silver goons, which I think are the only invincible enemy type in this entire game, ladies and gentlemen. So don't try to attack them. You can't attack them. You will die a painful death. But yeah, like I said, major gimmicks by here. It's mainly a timing mini game with this one. You need to wait for the enemies to pass, then you are able to pass of your own accord and just get from point A to point B. Everything will be fine and dandy then. There's also a new move that we can actually utilize whenever we're on these hang climby thingies. I don't know what these things are actually called. Grates. And while we're on these grates, there is a new move we can utilize, which we won't be utilizing for the first part of the stage because we don't need to, but it will be necessary for the second half of the stage. I'll talk more about that when we actually get to it, however, ladies and gentlemen, because I don't want to spoil the surprise. Although if you're playing along with me, you can easily press the circle button to find out what it does, but I digress. Anyway, down this hole, this by here is where we actually split off. If we go back here, there's the pathway and down there that leads to the alternate way to get the extra gem. But of course, we're not going there first. We're going to take the standard everyday route of the level, so you know. Yay! But first things first, time for a bonus level. Oh my. Oh my. I kind of like this bonus level just because it seems... I don't know, I just like the way it looks. Like the aesthetics in the background of all the pipes. I just sort of get the idea of where do those pipes go? I want to crawl into them. It just makes me think of the warp maze, the pipe maze from Mario Bros. 3. I don't know, maybe I'm alone with that fact. But it's a very simple bonus stage. The only issue we're really going to have is around this point by here when we're going to have these crates we need to break. Because you need to time your spin attack, and if you time it wrong, well, you're dead. You are dead as a dodo. So you don't want to time it wrong, basically, ladies and gentlemen. You want to go and bounce on the crate at the right possible moment. And then move on to the next crate, then the next crate, then the next crate, blah 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 blah. You know how it works, ladies and gents. You know how the shindig goes. At least I hope. But yeah, just keep breaking each of the crates until you get to the end. Once you break all of them, again, it takes 10 bounces to break a crate. Hopefully you're able to land on the... Why did I do that? Huh. Editing! Well, hopefully you're able to land on the exclamation question mark platform thingy, and you should be on your way. Now, I find myself really I always mistime this particular crate. Like, it seems like it's one extra Wumpa fruit in there than the other crates have, which really throw me off, which is why I just almost killed myself twice in a row trying to get through that bonus stage. But there we go, that's that. Did I get hit by anything? Ha! Collision detection! Now, I probably did get hit, like, by the rat's tail or something, because the tail probably has collision on it, but that's, come on, that's, everyone knows tail whip does nothing but lower your defense. It doesn't kill. That's all I know. But of course, needless to say, like in previous levels of this type, we need to watch out for the water, because it can get electrified by the eels, and that's no good. We don't want to be killed by the eels. But of course, now we can head on into the warp room, and, well, we're going to need to head directly back into the stage anyway, just to get the gems that we missed through the alternate pathways. So, yeah. Hanging out. Because Gaddy are hanging on grates. Oh, what a name. What a name. They must have had so much fun coming up with the names of these levels, just thinking of a pun to associate the level with. But anyway, back at the halfway point of the stage, I did a little bit of fancy editing, so it doesn't affect you guys too much. Now we are on the second great section. Now with this section, what we need to do is we need to press the circle button in order to pull our legs up and dodge these spike ball things. Otherwise, we will die. And I'm pretty sure if any of you are like me, you don't want to die. You don't want to die at all. But these things are easy enough to destroy. Just, oh, the alternate path leads to the secret area. Why did I say a gem earlier? But either way, just keep dodging all the mooks until we get to this area. And then, huzzah, we have access to Totally Fly. Which is the final secret level of the game, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. There is no more secret levels after this. We are done. We are done with the secret warp room, which means we are basically 90% of the way through the game, I would say, right now. But this stage by here is probably one of the final types of jungle areas. This is the nighttime jungle area, where we get to see a lot of nighttime based enemies such as possums and what have you. And I don't know, I think it's a nice attention to detail that during the nighttime you have all the enemies that are nocturnal and stuff. I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. But of course, what we need to do in this stage, if you're wondering, is we need to collect the nightlight. Well, not the nightlight, the firefly. There we go. Once we collect the firefly, we will need to keep it and run to the next firefly as quickly as possible before time runs out, without preferably going into pits or enemies. Otherwise, we will die, and it's no good. But yeah, these stages, they're a unique little challenge. It's basically playing with the game's draw distance set to 0. And I honestly don't mind it too much because the enemies you can see coming up, and they usually telegraph the pits pretty obviously. So if you know what you're doing, it's more than easy enough to collect everything in these stages. Now for the bonus stages work a little bit differently. The Night Firefly guy will go on his own, and basically you need to keep up with him as much as physically possible. So it's just a matter of trying to be as quick as possible and keep up with the Firefly. Also, you're going to want to ground pound that set boxes, otherwise you won't have enough time. Now don't worry if the Firefly actually goes away from you, because if you know the level design enough, or if you do a lot of long jumps, there's a very high chance you'll be able to make it to the end with no problem. So there's that. Now if the Firefly leaves you in the middle of a normal platforming sequence like this one, what I recommend doing is bouncing off the sides of the platforms like you saw me doing like way back in part 1, I think, of the games. Because obviously there's collision on the sides of the road, so you can just jump off them if need be. It's a little bit tricky and sometimes it doesn't work, but that's my professional tip in order to attempt to survive. Anyway, now that we got the Firefly, what we need to do is actually move ahead a little bit to the, move ahead to this, in this darkness, and keep spinning. The moment you hit Wumpa Fruit is the moment you need to turn back. And basically what we need to do is find these boxes by spinning into them and listening out for the noise. And then break them, because we won't have enough time to break them otherwise with the Firefly. It doesn't give us any room for error with this one. So just be a bit careful. Like I said, they have the Wumpa Fruit to tell you, oh look, there's a pit coming up, so you can use that as like a little crutch if need be. But honestly, I like this level type, it's a unique little challenge, a unique little change of pace. I believe there were levels kind of like this in the original Crash Bandicoot when you were in the hallways and you had to have your mask transform into a nightlight for you, but the problem is with those levels, those were not very well designed. Well, in comparison to these levels anyway, it was very hard to see when things were coming up in that one. But I digress, there's another delicious gem added to our collection. Oh my, yes. But now it's time to move on to the last ruin level of the game, ladies and gentlemen. After this, we won't be seeing any more of this level type. And boy, is it a ruin level. This one actually took me quite a few attempts to get through properly. And it's primarily because when I played through the stage the first time, well, basically I missed one box. Where was this box I missed? I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I was watching back the editing footage and basically I collected all the boxes on a normal run, but it just didn't register one of them for some reason, which threw me off. And I know I collected all of them because I watched the same footage like 2 or 3 times in a row to make sure they were all collected, and I did. So I don't know. Problem is, if you miss a box, it's usually the best tactic to just restart the entire stage from the beginning like I did here. Also, be careful by here because these things will turn into nitro boxes. You don't want to touch them, they will explode. And of course there is another green gem platform right by here. Now I advise grabbing this checkpoint and why am I going ahead for the... I just wanted that one before, but alright. I advise grabbing the checkpoint and jumping on this thing as soon as possible. Now, when you take the green gem pathway by here, you will need to do a little Donkey Kong barreling session where you need to listen out for the barrels. Well, not barrels, the logs that pop in from the right hand side of the screen. Just listen out, jump over them whenever they come nearby you, and take on the monkey at the very end. And what I do advise is, because there's no crates on this pathway and it does lead you quite a bit further down in the level, what you're going to want to do is basically kill yourself. You're going to want to kill yourself, because that's what I would recommend. Because when you kill yourself, well, you will spawn back to where they need. You know, you spawn back to the last checkpoint, which is so handy, by the way. It's like the speedrunning tactics, yo, in these games. It's just killing yourself, and I love that. I don't know why. It's kind of strange if you think about it. Like, why should killing yourself send you back? Like, why should it be a speedrunning tactic? But it is. It is. It's most useful in the likes of, say, Crash Bandicoot. No, not Crash Bandicoot. I'm playing Crash Bandicoot. In like Banjo-Kazooie, because in Banjo-Kazooie... Oh, damn, I died. Well, it gives me more chance to talk anyway. In Banjo-Kazooie, when you kill yourself, like jumping off a cliff or something, you'll spawn at a nearest checkpoint that... If you know the checkpoints off by heart and where they all take place, then you'll easily be able to... well, you'll easily be able to manipulate the checkpoints to get to places a lot quicker. What can I say? And whenever I play Banjo, well, not so much Kazooie, but in Banjo-Tooie, whenever I play that game through, I'm always, like every playthrough, I'm basically trying to manipulate the checkpoints one way or another, just so things are a little bit quicker. Sometimes I forget to, just because I'm not too knowledgeable in the checkpoint system, and I will sometimes cause myself to take longer by killing myself. But you know, in a lot of instances, you can make backtracking and progressing forward a little bit quicker by doing it. But I digress. Let's just continue with this Donkey Kong section here. Boop! One thing that kind of bugs me about this Donkey Kong section is it's really trial and error-y. Also, like I said, grab the gem, kill yourself. Like, it's very easy to just get nicked by the barrel, and that could cost you everything, because if you get hit while you're jumping, then Crash Bandicoot will actually gain extra momentum, and he'll actually move a bit further forward, which is completely backwards, but there you are, there you have it. Either way, time for yet another bonus level. Now, one thing I love about this bonus level by here is if you spin this box, you can just look how delicious this is now. This fills my inner destructive needs. Oh my god. Oh, I love it. Just destruction of the boxes everywhere. Oh my. But anyway, it's a simple run-of-the-mill bonus level. You know what they're all like at this point. I think the bonus levels get a little bit more interesting in this third game, because they usually have their own unique little design to them, and they usually have like different walkways and what have you, as opposed to these random metal blocks floating in the void, which, to be honest, I'm not too fond of. I'm not too fond of the random boxes in the middle of the void. So that's something that the third game actually did a great deal better than the first Crash Bandicoot, well, not the first, the second Crash Bandicoot game. But a lot of people's favourites is the third game, and that game does have a lot of improvements over the second. It's just the level design in general in the second one, and the lack of gimmicky levels. I don't know, it makes me enjoy it a little bit more. Like, I enjoy gimmicky levels that break up the pace a little, you know, and break up the monotony, but when there's nothing but gimmick levels throughout the course of the game, that's when it gets a little bit grating on my, you know, for me. Plus those water levels in Crash Bandicoot 3 can just go down in the fire, and I don't like them. Horrible things. Horrible things. Either way, that's another bonus section done, and I do not like these... Wait, those monkeys are holding ray guns. I've only just noticed that. The monkeys are holding guns. Why don't the monkeys use those guns then? All questions for another day and another time. Alright, I love this iguana by here, because if you're very good at timing the TNT box, you can actually explode it and send the iguana flying away. I don't know, I actually had to do multiple takes of this just to make sure that I got it in, and I took out that one villain, that one enemy with the TNT crate. I needed that to be on this playthrough, folks. You know, it's the simple things in life, you know, blowing up random enemies and collecting shiny things. That's all you need to make a good video game. Well, and good gameplay as well, but I digress. Anyway, that was a lucky hit, because normally, whenever I'm doing this sequence, I need to jump on that little green box, which is a really obnoxious jump to make, because the depth perception is just not your friend when you do it. But fortunately, I was lucky enough to be able to just whack the possum into it, which makes me all happy. But what also makes me happy is the fact we've now cleared this warp room 100%, ladies and gentlemen. Now we are moving on to the finale of the game, kind of. We've got 2 more parts left, which means a few more levels left to go. Oh yes. Oh yes. I am looking forward to it. Indeed-o.
Crash, I have discovered that the opposition is being masterminded by Dr. Nitrous Brio, the inventor of the Evolvo Ray. Brio was responsible for our misunderstandings in the past. He forced me to assist him in his plot for world domination, and he's at it again. He will attempt to stand in our way. Be on your guard, Crash. Use the platform to deliver the crystals to N.
To N? Okay, I guess I'll deliver them to N then. Again, the PAL version has this weird-ass audio glitch, and it just... I don't like it. I don't like it. Just cuts out the audio way too early. Only on cutscenes. On boss fights it's fine, as you'll see now.
Like Dr. Cortex said, if the 20 crystals you have collected me.
So there we are, ladies and gentlemen, sporting the big mega mech. We now have to fight against Engine, Cortex's right-hand man. Now, Engine by here will shoot laser beams from his little clawy hand things, and we have a brand new ability specifically for this boss fight. We get to throw Wumper Fruit at him. Now, whenever each of these parts are opened up, that's your cue to damage you, to damage him, but he can hurt you in the process, so just be careful of his attacks while you're shooting him. And that's all there is to it, really. Dodge his attacks while rinse and repeat, shooting him in each of these hand things until they explode. When they explode, they take a little bit extra of it, they take a chunk of his health off. But, it's an easy enough boss fight. Now, if he's in the middle of an attack as well, whenever you're actually damaged his arm enough for it to blow up, then he will continue doing the attack. So that's just a bit of a pre-warning. He will not immediately stop the attack. He will still go and try and take you on. Once you've taken out his arms, he will then start moving and trying to shoot rockets out of his little mega Samus Aran shoulder things here. And what you need to do is just pay attention to the shadows that pop in on the floor, and just keep away from the rockets, because they will hurt and they will kill you. So just pay attention to the shadows. You will be able to take him on just fine. What can I say? Now, whenever you have one of his shoulder panels left, instead of shooting the rockets from above, he'll shoot them from the side of the screen. Now, the major difference with this is when he shoots the rockets from the side of the screen, then you will just have to jump over it. He only managed to shoot one out, which is fortunate for me. And now he's on his final phase. He's going to jump up and he's going to shoot a extremely powerful laser beam at you. If you're too slow, you're going to get burnt. So what I advise is wait for him to pop on up as quickly as possible. Move out the way and spam him. Basically, you need to pelter him with like 1 or 2 apples, then move to the next platform, pelter him with another 2 apples, and then move to another platform, etc, etc, etc. And don't stay too long on the same platform, because you will die. So that's what I recommend.
Master Cortex will be very displeased with your resistance. Prepare to suffer his wrath!
Sorry, that's not until the 4th game. Because the 4th game's called the Wrath of Cortex. But anyway, that is it for Engine. Easy enough boss fight. I'm quite content with that.
What is your problem, Bandicoot? I will not ask you again to bring me the crystals. Obtain the remaining 5 crystals, Crash, and bring them to me.
Okay, his channel is in a Batman. So you could say that Engine just ran out of fuel. Well, either way, we're now in the final warp room of the game, so thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. And when we return next time, we'll take on the first half of the warp room, and in the finale, then we will finish off the game once and for all. So, yep, thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't be sheepish, people. I'll catch you all then. Bye!